Brayshaw in the Corolla won the most recent one. The two regularities we had yesterday, the first one was won by Bob Hanton's TR7, and the second one was won by Ralph Jones's Pontiac Silver Streak, which I notice is not coming out. So the issue it had in the previous regularity run has crawled their weekend. Shame. It was certainly a distinctive car, that original era NASCAR look Pontiac. It was out for a run. Hardly ever hear the word Pontiac at Australian racetracks, and then we have two on the same day. Big hi to the folks down there at the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am pits. Of course, they've got a pair of Pontiacs on the go because they're also running a Pontiac Firebird for Ian Palmer in the Bianti Touring Car Series. So look forward to seeing that car in action, yet to make its debut. Now the regularities are starting to record lap times.
Attention the paddock, attention the paddock. Can we have the Group N's to the marshalling area, please? Group N to the marshalling area.
Yes, not far away for the battle of the historic touring cars. So we get the Group N's down for their final race of the weekend. See if Craig Allen can be stopped from taking a clean sweep of Group N racing this weekend at the Ipswich Festival. Now, Peter Dias in the Porsche 911 and Darryl Tonkin's Triumph TR7 are both on 0 points at the moment. So they're the leaders of the pack in these early laps. But still, this regularity wide open. A number of different cars, vastly different cars competing in this regularity. Just to run through some of them. Looking across right now at car number 91. I'm sure I'm reading that wrong actually, because there isn't a 91 in the field. There'll be 51. Clive Hubula's TBR 450 SE. That wedge, that maroon wedge of British sports car, that's V8 powered sports car that's coming down towards us.
Yep.
And heading in the direction of turn
the TBR.
1. Yeah, the TBR.
You know, seriously, one of the most underrated. Oh, look, as per most things British, they are the bearer of a lot of jokes about oil leaks and system failures and $2.50 switches and
Lucas Electrics.
Yeah, Lucas Electric, $2.50 switches and £100,000 cars. It's just one of those things, but they are just a marvellous engine. I like it. I like the idea of a hand-built car, which is exactly what they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of the British bespoke type brands, which TBR would be one of those brands you talk about, is that way. I mean, you've got to think that in years gone by, all cars were hand built.
Yeah, well,
they all had their failings. I mean, God, you know, there wouldn't be a Mustang, for instance, born today that hasn't had most of the reworking done on the car prior to it ever been now. You know, my 1969 model GT Cortina that I have. I'm starting to find the dramas now in 2015 of where the older, like the regulator on the side of the alternator is a major problem because it's that old and it's failed. So, you know, we're going back to a more modern system now. But in fact, I'm not. I'm actually going to stay with the pure set.
I'm sure the folks at the Kent Ford factory in the UK never really considered the concept of how the Cortinas would be running some 45 years down the track.
Do you know what? Incorrect.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kent engineers always looked at the longevity of their engine because they only seeing an evolution into small things. That's why the Kent block itself has been such an evolution. It's hung around for so many years, and different derivatives. The design, the bore, the ratios, some of the dies have stayed pretty much crucial to what's been going over the years.
Well, of course, they've powered something like 6-7 generations now of Formula Ford racing drivers over the course of time. And
also keep in mind that it's also been brought out in different models of cars. The basis of the block has been used in, and the dimensions of the block have been used in different ratios of whether it be rear or drive front. Ralston's got a problem.
Yeah, Dallaston in the E.H. Holden Sports Sedan is travelling very slowly around the track at the moment. It's a very lightweight EH Holden, that car. There's probably not a lot of EH Holden left on it.
A mate of mine said to me one day when he saw that car, he said, "Is that car built to Group C specs?"
No.
And I just laughed at that because he's seen the big flares on the team. That meant it's built to Group C flares. Group C, or Aaron Rally be Group G. So I said, no, I don't think they'd rally it. Although, having said that, yes, they did rally EH Holden's actually.
Yeah, well, of course they did. Yeah, but it certainly predates Group C.
Oh yeah, no, I was just being good. Hey, good to catch up with Guy Gibbons too. Actually, give me some insight off air about what's going on with the Grow Fruit Juice team. Interesting. What they're worried about as far as tyres and all that sort of stuff. You're going to be very busy down there, Jonesy. You're going to be very busy down on the downstairs. There's going to be so much going. There's going to be so many little nuances that I think it's going to make for a very interesting race. I'm looking forward to it. Cannot wait. I actually can't wait. I think it's going to be an absolute cracker because
I love a long race.
The only thing we're going to have to watch out for is guys breaking out when but not only that, we've got to watch them break out in so many different sections. Like, we've got to be well aware of that. They're a class and they're class, so we're going to have to look at what class they're in, make it they're not breaking out the time when they do, what time penalty's going to get. It's going to be nightmare. Neil Lewis and the boys downstairs are going to be really stressed.
Indeed.
I hope, and to coin a phrase with someone else, I hope it's not like the America's Cup event that gets won that gets won in a room afterwards. But anyway.
Well, you remember the old Queensland 500 Club Enduro here. The results were generally declared half an hour afterwards because the
just to check.
Because they had to factor in the pit lane because the old the Queensland 500 Club Enduro, you had a set amount of time for pit stops, but unlike the Willowbank 300 here today, you could go straight back out on the track if you wanted, because the time would be
Second
added.
player coming out.
All right, well, Peter Deus in the Porsche 911, that glorious looking early 80s 911, is our current leader on the points. He's yet to come around on
no,
his
he's in turn
final
4
lap.
and 5. You know what gets me though with that car is the fact that I think he's positioned himself perfectly with two cars of equal pace.
Yes.
And he's got himself in the middle of that group, so he's not being altered in his cycle of competition. Because you look at where they're finished, he's nominated a 1.62, but he's been running 1.67s in his lap times. Everyone else has blown out or not run close enough to, but he's one of the fastest cars in nomination.
His final lap, and he's only 2 penalty points over the entire session.
And he blew out on the last lap.
Didn't get any point fine though. He blew out, but not by enough to result in a point penalty. So Peter Deus has done a fantastic job in the Porsche, and that should, I think I'm reasonably certain there that will wrap up his the win for the weekend in the regularity group. That not in 11. Gorgeous looking
We
car.
don't know what penalties are going to come. I think we should probably just say what a great time. I hope they've enjoyed
Well,
themselves.
the boys and girls from the Historic Racing Car Club of Queensland will be doing the sums in that regard. But Deus has won the 4th regularity from Macintosh in the Monaro.
And third was
no, something's gone a little amiss there.
And now there's 93,000 did not finishes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Let's just say well done to you, Mr. Deus. We'll take a break. We'll be back on the other side of this. Jonesy, what's coming up?
Some racing cars. I do know, and it's slipped
Group
my
N,
mind.
mate. Group
It's
N.
Group N,
We'll be
of
back
course,
shortly.
yes.